Hey, everybody. So excited to be here with you and to be getting us even more focused for the week ahead. We had a good session last week, I think, getting ourselves in momentum. I normally get a few messages each week of appreciation, but last week I was flooded with them. So it must have been a really good session. So thank you to everybody who took a moment. I think these calls are great to refocus ourselves and stay connected to the work. And they're really important. I mean, obviously you have the basis of the course curriculum, but tuning in live and getting reconnected to it all makes a big difference. What's become very apparent to me over the last couple of weeks with my one-on-one clients is just how important structure is. And understanding the power of creating a structure where the void causes the correct action. And what I mean is the most powerful way to manifest what you want is to use a void, right? VOID, a void. The universe abhors a void. A void must be filled. And this vacuum or this void is going to pull in correct information and pull you towards what you want. And so if you can create structures where there's a void inherent in it, that's the key. You know, that's the when you have a void and that space pulls in your action, that's when you're going to create like you could never have imagined. And really, you could never have imagined it because there's just a void. And so to do this, you must think to yourself, what do I want to create? And you sit down with that blank piece of paper or nothing but that creation, and you say, for the next hour and a half or whatever it is, I'm just going to, whatever comes to me, I'm going to work on that end result. And that void pulls in the information. So it's very interesting at the people at the highest level that I'm working with one on one. It comes back to some of the most basics. You know what I mean? So I was talking to my team just prior to this conversation. I have a 10 a.m. meeting every day with them, and I said, we must remember the 4%. We must remember the 80-20 of the 80-20, that which is the 4%. We know that 80-20 of 80-20 means that there's 4% of activities giving us 64% of results. And we must remember this. And it comes back to this work as well. And so there's three focuses to our course, to what we're up to. Okay. And the first is personal power, which is the power to create the life experience you choose. And I just love that, it's like I'm here to show you how to create the life that you choose, to have personal power. And that's really important. The degree to which you lack personal power is often the degree to which you experience frustration. Typically, however you're frustrated in life, what you're really saying is you don't believe you have the power to change it or make it the way you want. Okay. And that's very important is to understand that if there's life experiences or creations that you want and you're frustrated, it's because you believe you lack the power to have it. So that's our first focus. The second focus is your true nature and purpose, really stepping into that. And it's one of our core choices as well, is to understand that your truest nature is to create and you have a purpose, a way to do it. I just did a video about this and it's going to be on social media in a day or two. And that was the lie of going for freedom. And I made this mistake. I wrote books on this mistake and about freedom. And I wrote the book, the Freedom Business Blueprint. I thought freedom was a goal, and I still hear this in many, freedom, freedom, freedom. But I did freedom. I got there. Freedom isn't the goal. Freedom is a complete reaction to being stuck. And there's no guarantee if you get freedom that you enjoy it. Many people make the error of going for freedom. And as they go for it, they end up oscillating because they have no reason for the freedom. And so that comes back to what I'm talking about is Our second focus of this course is our true nature and purpose. And if you tune into your truest nature to be a creator and your purpose, right? That gives you a reason to have more money than you can spend, which is financial abundance, because then you're going to apply it to your purpose. Can I just get around to yeses if you see the difference, right? Like I have this purpose. I want to spend lots of time with my family, or I want to save this or do this. This is my purpose. And now I'm going to make tons of money so I can do it versus I'm just going to make tons of money. Then I'll just figure it out when I get there. And it's a big thing. So the first focus is personal power. The second is true nature and purpose. And then the third focus of what we teach here is your creative process. How to actually bring your thoughts and desires into reality, because most of us don't have any formal training when it comes to this. You know what I mean? It is we missed this class at college, right? Where it says here's how to turn your thoughts into things. Here's the actual process of manifestation. Okay. And so your creative process is the third focus of this course. And so personal power, true nature and purpose, creative process. And just let that sit with you. And what I mean by creative process, right? Your creative process is the process by which you invent your future, you know? And so when you can tap into these three things and you can really have personal power, live your true nature and purpose, and you can understand your creative process, you have this nearly magic ability that is so fun and exciting to play with. And that ability is that you have a magnetic mind. You understand how to put your mind in the right place, how to focus it, how to pull in what you want. And that's what we're here to do, right? That's super exciting. The problem we have is that we've been trained in the opposite view, right? We've been trained that we use our magnetic mind to pull in more of what we've already experienced, and we understand that our unconscious goes for safety, right? We understand this at this point of your journey in this course. You understand that, you get that you have an unconscious, that it is a magnet. It will continually pull in what it is that it's already experienced for safety. Like you get it, okay? And so what I want you to think about is a lot of your choices you have in life right now are muscle building in the creative process. Is by creating, quote, small things, you're training your brain to be a creator, to think up things, to turn them into reality, and see it through to the end result. Okay. And that's very important, because what you don't understand about your unconscious is that it's the key to your magnetic mind. Okay. The superconscious just helps shift it. The self-conscious just chooses, right? As you all know, self-conscious chooses what you want to create. Unconscious denies or allows it, and superconscious invents how to get there. And understanding how these three parts of your mind work together are really important. But the unconscious is the key, because the unconscious can block and deny everything, but it's very trainable. Okay. It's very trainable. And so by doing small creations and small choices, small things, like just creating the habit of making your bed, or creating the habit of going to the gym, or creating the habit of eating certain food, just small things builds momentum. And this unconscious momentum is very, very profound, because when the unconscious starts to get excited and go, wow, cool, we can think up something, we can manifest it, it's safe, we have it. This this whole part of you just takes you on a new journey. See, your unconscious is your magnetic mind. And at the moment, many people are unable to use this magnet because they lack personal power. They don't know the creative process, and they're not living their true nature and purpose, right? And they don't realize is that their unconscious attracts into your experience what it concludes is going to be survivable. What it concludes will be survival. It knows how to survive. And so it looks at your past and it continually creates the same experience, different characters. You just change dad, change it to a government or to a boss, or you just change mom and you change it to this. You just change things around, but you still have the same experience. And what's fascinating is the unconscious holds on to this until it gets enough reason to do something different. So there's such a thing called a significant emotional event, and significant emotional events can trigger spontaneous upleveling of the unconscious. But most of us don't want to have to wait for that. Instead, what we want to do is learn how to refocus our unconscious in a predictable way, just 15 minutes a day, that if you refocus it, it now starts concluding that what's safe is to be in action and be in momentum. Does that make sense? It concludes that. It assumes so that's how we are now. And it doesn't have to be this huge leap of logic or jump. It's just simply building creative momentum, creating this, creating this, creating this, creating this, building momentum. See, the unconscious always says yes. Whatever input you give it, it says yes. Okay, right. That's what you're giving me. Yes. And it's so important to realize how much your unconscious is being trained continually by you. And for example, if you're going for something, I don't know, let's say it's a new car. And then as you go for the new car, your unconscious goes, yes, you want a new car. And then you think to yourself, oh, but, gosh, cars are expensive these days. Unconscious goes, yeah. And then it notices how you feel about that. And you feel that it's expensive and you can't do it. So the unconscious goes, yes, it is expensive. And that means we can't do it. And then this, and then what about the price of gas, or what about insurances, and blah blah blah. The unconscious just sitting there, just listening to it, going, "Yep, yep, yep, okay, yes, yes, yes," and it builds up this whole mental model that yes, you do want that end result, but also it's going to be very difficult. And we're continually selling ourselves or teaching our unconscious or focusing it on how something's going to be difficult, or how it's probably not going to work out. And let me put it this way: you and I are a really bad judge of what's possible. Can we just agree on that? Like, we're a really bad judge of what's possible. Like, I don't know, if you asked me 5 years ago that I would be talking more to an AI chatbot than my wife, I would have said that's never going to be happening. Like that, what are you talking about? If you told me that all of my marketing knowledge is absolutely irrelevant now because it's all been uploaded to GPT and we can just ask it, like, we're a really bad judge of talking about what's possible, you know? Like, we're really bad at it. And so we're so busy convincing ourselves that that something's not possible. It's like, how do we know? You know, how do we know what's possible, what's around the corner? And we knock ourselves out of other possibilities, like, yeah, I guess cars have gone up in price, but like there could be just somebody that just wants to get rid of their car at a discount. Like we don't even let that be true. So it's about focus. This is what it's about. It's about focus. And you're either having your unconscious focused on what you want and then all the problems with it, or you're having your unconscious focus on what you want and then leaving the void open. You see that? See the difference? This is what I'm talking about, the void. One part of us focus on what we want and then all the things that is wrong that we need to fix or change or overcome. And the other part is just focused on the end result and then leaving the void, knowing the void will pull us to it. That's a key, it's a very big key. So I want to lead you on a little process, a little focusing exercise, one that I teach in the Superconscious Creator course usually. But I was called to bring it into today's one.